Sex and the Hive Mind, the future of intimacy. Welcome back to Hive Mind, the dawn of telepathic humanity. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and in this episode, we're diving into a topic no one wants to talk about, but everyone's thinking about. Because once brain-to-brain communication becomes possible, once feelings can be transmitted without touch, and once thoughts can be shared without language, there's only one direction this goes next. Into the bedroom, into the body, into the most intimate aspects of human connection. Today we're talking about sex in the age of the hive mind. Not theoretical, not speculative. It's already happening, in labs, in universities, and in early-stage prototypes that are reframing what it means to feel pleasure, to share desire, and to connect with another human being. Let's start with Japan. In a 2023 university-led study, researchers successfully synchronized the brainwaves of romantic partners using wearable neurotech. The goal was simple: induce shared emotional states, arousal, excitement, relaxation. In some trials, the participants reported that their bodies reacted before they even understood what the other person was feeling. "I could feel their attraction to me," one subject said, "before they even touched me." This wasn't metaphoric. This was mapped, measurable, and direct. The sensation of being desired was transmitted like a wireless signal. This type of experiment is being framed as a step toward therapeutic applications, treating intimacy disorders, reconnecting couples, restoring emotional bonding in trauma survivors. But we know how these things work. What starts in therapy ends up in tech, and what starts in healing becomes monetized. Right now, several startups are exploring neuropleasure devices, wearable systems that allow couples to exchange arousal signals, emotional feedback, and even climax synchronization without touch. That's not science fiction. That's the next version of sex tech. No physical contact required, just mental sync. Pleasure becomes a frequency. Intimacy becomes data. Desire becomes a shared neural loop. Let's pause here, because on the surface, this sounds beautiful. Deep connection, ultimate empathy. The idea that you can feel your partner's pleasure in real time, that you can share joy, warmth, release, without shame, miscommunication, or delay. That kind of union has been imagined in spiritual traditions for centuries. But when it's delivered through code, hardware, and corporate platforms, the consequences get darker. Because when emotion and arousal can be shared, they can also be extracted. If you can feel someone's pleasure without touching them, what happens when someone transmits that without consent? What happens when the boundary between your body and theirs no longer exists? Not because of physical proximity, but because the tech has erased it. This is already being discussed in neuroethics circles. The rise of telepathic violation, a future crime where someone hijacks a neural link and floods another person's system with desire, arousal, or emotional content. It's not a physical assault. It leaves no marks. But it disrupts your nervous system. It changes your chemistry. It installs experiences into your emotional memory that you didn't choose. That's not fantasy. That's a trauma no one is prepared for. Let's go deeper. In a brain-linked relationship, emotional privacy disappears. Your partner can feel your reactions in real time. Did you just mentally check out? They know. Did you think of someone else? They feel it. Did you suppress a fantasy? Too late. It pulsed through the link before you could hide it. Emotional fidelity becomes neurological transparency. And while that may sound like radical honesty, it's also suffocating. Because desire needs space. It needs tension, uncertainty, the mystery of not knowing. When all feelings are shared instantly, attraction becomes management. Intimacy becomes performance. You're no longer loving each other. You're syncing devices. This will shatter relationships. Some will thrive on this level of connection. Others will collapse under the weight of too much visibility. Because no one is fully aligned all the time. Everyone drifts. Everyone fantasizes. Everyone carries shadows, wounds, desires they don't want decoded and displayed like files in a shared drive. In the hive, those secrets vanish. Not because you confess them, but because your brain did. And then there's telepathic cheating. What happens when you form a neural bond with someone who isn't your partner? You didn't touch. You didn't even speak. But you felt something together. Shared emotional waves, emotional intimacy, dopaminergic sync. In the hive, that's no longer just thinking about someone else. It's a shared neural event. How do you explain that? How do you forgive that? When does connection become betrayal? Let's also talk about desire hacking. If neural signals can trigger arousal, what's stopping advertisers from using that? Imagine watching a music video or scrolling a product page and suddenly feeling a rush of excitement. Not because you want it, but because the signal was sent. That's not persuasion. That's programming. Your sexual response becomes an ad target. Your neurochemistry becomes a marketplace. And once enough people agree to brain-based networks, these triggers don't need to be extreme. Just subtle nudges, little waves of want, drip-fed into your system until you mistake them for your own. And the worst part? You won't know where your desire ends and the injected signal begins. Now, let's go spiritual. Sex has always been more than physical. It's energetic. It's alchemical. It's a space where the body becomes a gateway for something bigger: love, power, transformation, even divine union. But in the Hive, that space is digitized, encoded, measured, and replicated. What happens to the sacred when climax becomes content? What happens to the mystery when arousal is a button on a dashboard? What happens to devotion when love is managed by algorithms? We risk replacing true intimacy with its simulation. Real touch with signal feedback. Real longing with programmed satisfaction. Real connection with mental compliance. The soul is removed from the process, not ripped out, but written over. So what do? First, we draw the line now. Emotional and sexual transmission must require consent, not just in theory, but at the level of code. No passive syncing, no background pulses. Every transmission must be intentional, revocable, and traceable. Second, we need new language for what intimacy means. Brain-based connection is not inherently evil, but without boundaries, it becomes surveillance. Without sacred space, it becomes exploitation. Third, we must ask ourselves the most human question. Are we becoming more connected or more controlled? Is this evolution of love or its automation? Let me leave you with this. Sex in the Hive is coming, not just as fantasy, but as infrastructure. It will be sold as transcendence. It will be marketed as freedom. But if we're not careful, it will become a performance you didn't agree to, broadcast to a network you didn't realize you joined. Desire is not just a signal. It's sacred. Protect it. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.